Hi, my name is Wendy. Welcome to my channel. I wanted to create a channel to create a community where we can talk about what's going on in the world, share our experiences as we go through life, and to just not feel alone. I feel like ever since the pandemic, life has changed for so many people. I think life is always changing, but there's something about the past 4 to 5 years that really shifted for many of us, and I just want to come here and talk about it. For me, around that time was when I bought a home, paid off my car, excelled in my job, and I felt like life was amazing. When the pandemic happened, it was very challenging for a lot of us because we got sick or knew someone that got sick. We lost, loved ones, or knew someone who lost loved ones. And I feel like I could not catch up with what was going on. Ever since then, it's just nonstop chaos is what feels like is the best word to describe it. Couldn't predict what was going to happen next, and just felt like everything that occurred felt just so intense or extreme sometimes, and it kind of led me to look inward. Prior to the pandemic, I was very social in the sense that I was always going to events, family events, friends events, work events, any event. I was out there physically and living my life. When the pandemic happened, and this may have happened to you, and we were forced to be apart from each other. Like, I didn't see my mom every day or every other day anymore. It was just once every, so often. It was a challenging time. I found myself pouring in all my energy into work and then leaving work depleted, spending a lot of time binging shows, because that was what I feel like a lot of us could do at the time. Everything was closed. We needed something to do, so all we could do was watch things. I watched Netflix, I watched YouTube, and began reading a few books that I didn't finish, but I definitely started reading books, and it got boring after some time, right? Just repeating the same thing, after work, just binging and then working and then binging and then working and then binging shows. And I remember I got so bored that I started to sit with my thoughts. And around that time, I actually had what, I'd call a spiritual journey awakening. And I can make that a whole separate video, but, it was a lot of things that was very obvious that I was going through an awakening because I experienced a lot of physical and just words cannot describe experiences. And it was very obvious to me that something needed to change. In those years that we were all on lockdown and trying to come out of lockdown and go back into the world and, wear masks and then not wear masks. And I'm such a rule follower, so I definitely did that. And I ended up feeling frustrated because it was like I didn't know how to live life anymore. I didn't feel comfortable being social the way I used to be. Like, I could just go out and spend time with my family once a week and I'd be super tired, depleted. Or the next week I'd go and spend time with my, friends and I'd be super depleted. It was like my body could not handle a lot of energy anymore from other people and other things. It was like, for the first time in my life, I knew my own baseline energy and self from being alone, like truly alone in isolation and solitude, that when I went out, it was just too much. That was very challenging for me, but it also forced me to become more aware of my energy versus other people's energy, and what that actually felt like, what I actually liked, what I actually should and shouldn't do in terms of like putting myself in scenarios that I don't need to be, bringing myself to places that weren't going to lift me up, for example. I became more aware, and therefore I became more mindful of what I was doing to myself, because I am in control. And prior to this, I didn't really ever think to myself that I am in control of my life, that I am in control of my experiences, that I am in control of who I allow and don't allow in my life. I always just felt like, well, these are my family, so I have to be around them. These are my friends, so I have to be around them. These are additional people that come along with all my core people, and I have to be around them. Or I don't want to go to this event because I just had like 5 other events this past weekend, but I'll still go because I love this person. Like, it was hard for me to say no. It was hard for me to set boundaries. It was hard for me to understand that I don't need to please everybody. Like, I don't need to like everybody. Just because somebody is or was close to me in any way, right? I'm talking about like blood or not blood related, any way or reason, I don't need to allow them in my life. And I can be respectful, but I don't need to allow them in my personal space for a longer time than I need to, or beyond what I actually am comfortable with. So in a way, I ended up feeling like the pandemic, and I'm sorry if you don't feel this way, but for my experience, it was a blessing, because it forced me to look inward. It forced me to just put myself first, because I had to. I had to protect myself at the time, because they were telling us to be by ourselves. And if we go out, we have to be careful and all these things. Like, it was too much, to be honest, looking back. But at the same time, I never once thought, oh, a grocery store could be dangerous because there's so many people. There's just so many instances, and maybe you can think of some too, where during the past 4 to 5 years, I had to grow, and I was pushed to grow. And this, of course, goes beyond, all the rules of the pandemic and things like that I'm sharing. It was also just my relationship to work, for example. Like, there's nothing I felt like I could do at that time but pour myself into my job, and I don't regret anything. But it was just when I finally got out of that mindset after a few years, I was like, wow, I spent so much energy on work, and I put work first. Why? And just, it was another layer of awakening, in the sense of, why would I do this to myself? I don't need to work that hard, way beyond my hours, or at this level of like what I thought at the time was passion, but really it was other layers of other feelings along with the passion. It was like my addiction to achievements. I was like, well, we have a timeline, I really want to meet it, come on everybody. Like, it was fun, but at the same time it was so depleting, because it doesn't matter what you do, right? You could be serving the whole world, but if you're not taking care of yourself, and you are treating yourself as if you're like a robot, a machine, and just cranking these efforts in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, whether you like it or not. Like, I actually liked it. I actually asked for it. I was like, I want to do this, I want to do that. Like, my job was fulfilling to me, so I was in that mindset. And after a couple years, I was like, what is this? Years just flew by. What was I doing? Like, it's crazy sometimes when you actually are able to detach and take a step back and look at what you were doing to see how much you were investing your energy, your mental capacity, your physical health to something. Like everything you do takes energy. So I became aware of my physical space, where and what I was spending my energy on, my mental capacity. Like, am I actually taking breaks when I should and need to? Like, am I skipping it? Meals, like, actually became more mindful about making sure I eat nourishing meals. That's also another story that I have to do a separate video on, but I really was able to heal myself through these couple years of being by myself. And I feel like when I look back, I grew so much, but at the same time, like, how many years has passed? It feels like 10 years has passed. And I don't understand why life shifted such like a significant amount. But my assumptions are why I feel this way is we as a world, not just in the US, but as a world, we experienced so many things together in a short amount of time. I don't even want to list them out because I don't want to speak or be in that reality that of what's going on. I want to believe, and I choose to believe, that everything that has happened is for all of our highest good. And I don't want to think it happened to us. I want to think it happened for us. And I saw that online, that saying, and I've seen it online for several years. And, you know, I really, really believe in it, that we, as hard as life is, right? Whether it's things we created and experienced because we unconsciously did it, or things like what's happening to the world and what's been happening that's out of our control. Like, we just unfortunately are here experiencing things that other people are making happen or creating. Like, there's just so much chaos that there's nothing I can say or do to change. I don't want to live in that reality. I choose to believe that everything that is revealing itself right now is helping all of us, every single one of us, rise to a level of consciousness, to wake up and not believe in that old reality and all those things that we don't want to or don't need to believe in. I'm choosing to believe that our world is going to be a better place. Our world is a better place because there's so many of us who are choosing to believe and are choosing to create a better place. I'm going to bring all my attention and energy to that part of the world, to that timeline, because if I choose to face what's always on the news or, you know, mainstream media, I'm just not gonna be well. I choose to be in like the purest form of love, for my own sake and for the sake of those around me and for the sake of the world. Like, let's carry that energy. Let's choose to first focus on ourselves. Let's choose to look inside ourselves. Let's choose to love ourselves. Let's choose to take care of ourselves. That's the first step that all of us can do to change the world. We can't really change things outside of us. There's a lot that is outside of our control, but we can change like ourselves. We can change our mindset, our actions, our habits. It's not easy, but if you're aware of habits or things that you don't like about yourself or that you would deem unhealthy or that you see is hurting those around you, then choose to use that level of awareness of these actions, these words, whatever it is, and shift it to a higher frequency, to a, you know, better, right, action. If you find yourself, even to yourself, right, always treat yourself with the most, you know, respect and love. Even to yourself, if you are, you know, you hear yourself like put yourself down, stop yourself, right? You are aware now. You hear yourself say, why did I do that, right? Like, don't shame yourself. Don't put yourself down. Say, well, I did that and it's perfectly fine and I won't do that again. Or I did that and it's perfectly human. Nobody's going to think about it again. I release it from my brain. Like, let go of all of the negativity that is in your body for whatever reason, right? That they're in your body or your mind. Like, release it all. Just if it helps. I personally always I speak a lot of my thoughts now to help me. So if I'm experiencing that, I would just, close my eyes, drop and connect to my heart, and just speak out loud, like, that is not me. Or, I am aware that I said that, but it doesn't have power over me. It was unconsciously said. It does not bring, chaos to me. It's not gonna hurt me if I face this thought and release it, right? You're choosing to transmute it this way. Don't view it and repeat it in your head over and over and over, whether it's like a thought or a action or like a scene that you're revisiting, an experience you're revisiting. Like, close your eyes, imagine it in your head, drop into your heart, feel the emotions, feel it all, and consciously choose to release it, choose to transmute it and change it and shift it. And that's how we can process whatever we need to and lift our own vibration and change our own mindset. And in that way, as we change ourselves, because we can all do it, we will change those around us by just simply existing in our highest frequency, in our highest form. Wherever we go, right? We're speaking love to others because we're speaking love to ourselves. And we'll just continue this like ripple effect of love and not play into those realities that are being forced into like our face. Like, I don't really care that this or that is happening if I can't take care of myself, right? You need to focus on yourself first. Focus on your own experiences, focus on your own suffering before you start worrying about the suffering and experiences outside of you that are outside of your control. Everyone suffers, and I have love for everyone, every place, everything that has to do with suffering. And I am a part of, that collective that like I want to liberate suffering. But I'm asking you, before you choose to worry about others, worry about yourself. That's how you're going to change the world. And I learned this by just this whole experience, right? Like, I didn't consciously choose to be aware of my inner shadows and fears and flaws or whatever. No one told me like sit with your thoughts. I just had my experience, and of course there's other layers of events and things that also led to me thinking the way I do now. But because I'm aware, I feel like I have to share this as an inspiration, hopefully to others, to also be aware, to be mindful, to remember to love yourself, to remember to put yourself first, to remember to give yourself grace and space, to remember to do your inner work, right? It's gonna be multiple layers of inner work, right? You're gonna work on a shadow that comes up, and as you work through it, as you face it, as you acknowledge it, as you release it, another layer is gonna appear, either of the same shadow or a different shadow. Like, there are layers. Let's dig in. Like, it's okay. We all have it. Nobody is free from these layers of shadows and pain that they need to face, whether it's from like your childhood or a year ago, right? We all have something, and it's so important that we take the time to sit with ourselves, to see how it feels in our body, where in our body all of this emotion and pain is sitting. It doesn't have to always be like emotions or pains, right? It could be thoughts, it could be memories, it could just be maybe you're feeling fatigued because you're overworked. Rest. Listen to yourself. That's also working on yourself. That's also loving on yourself. Choose yourself. And I think, yeah, that's the message that wants to come out today. It's to choose yourself, to put yourself first. And I hope you know that no matter what you're going through, if you're going through the best time of your life right now, I'm happy for you. If you're going through one of the hardest times of your life, I'm with you. Like, we are all connected. And the sooner we realize that, the more we would understand that when you work on yourself and choose to always speak love and be love and, all those beautiful things, right? Have compassion for others, forgive yourself and others, like all of these things, it's going to heal all those around you. We're all connected. And so, because we're all connected, I hope you can feel my love that I am sending to you. I hope you can feel this pure love and light energy. And may you receive it. And may it help you on your journey towards yourself. And may it ignite what it needs to help you with your awareness, mindfulness, and I hope you can tell yourself, I love you. Thank you for all that you have done for me. Thank you for being here for me. I am eternally grateful for you. Because at the end of the day, no matter how many people are around you, this experience, it's going to be just you and you forever, every single day, morning, day, night. And so give yourself gratitude because you show up for yourself every single day. And I love you. Till next time. Bye.